Hello there, I'm Scotty, and my pick for June is Now You See Me. Ooh, ha, yeah, ooh. The tilt on the table. Shut up. He's right. I don't know magic like that. I, you know, magicians. Okay, you see them on TV, you see all this stuff, and you think, wow, it must be really magic. But there's always an explanation for the stuff. And while they do that in this movie, they give it an explanation, there's still parts where you sit there and you go, okay, but how? Like, what? Like, shining a light on something makes the numbers go down, and at the same time, it allows money to go in people's accounts. Sure, there's a logical explanation for most, if not all, of the traps in this, but or tricks, I should say, in this. But it's a bit confusing. So Now You See Me follows a group of four people called incorrectly called the Four Horsemen. Why is it incorrect? Because one of them is a woman, so they cannot be the Four Horsemen. The Four Horse People. I'm sorry, but it's 2024, and if I agreed with it, I'd probably be canceled.
Actually, they're not men because there's only one woman. There's one woman, there's only three men. So,
Someone in the comments be yeah. So they're called the Four Horsemen, even though that's not correct. But you got to, the four-star people. J. Daniel Atlas, played by Jesse Eisenberg, you know, fresh off the Social Network, Zombieland, and you have his fellow Zombieland co-star Woody Harrelson playing Merritt McKinney, who is like J. Daniel Atlas is basically the card trick guy. He does the card tricks, that sort of thing. And then you have Merritt, who is sort of he says he's a mentalist, but really he just like looks at your eyes and your reactions to stuff and tries to guess something by just kind of coming up with it. Then there's I almost said Fallon Henley. That's not it. Henley, I don't know her last name. Played by Isla Fisher or Isla Fisher or whatever. Sacha Baron Cohen's soon to be ex wife. But she is the stunt person. She dives into tanks and tries to disappear, all that stuff. And then you have Jack. I try to many times to remember his last name. Jack, not Jack Atlas. That is Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Jack. You have Jack, played by Dave Franco. You know the one that's not canceled. Uh, and he is the misdirection. Do the bending spoons and stuff to guys' misdirections. And they're all on their own when they are called together by this mysterious organization called the Eye. And some undetermined amount of time later, maybe it was said on the screen, I don't remember. They are now have a benefactor in Arthur Trenzler, played by Mako Kain, who is backing them up in their big ventures to do all this and make money and all that stuff. And their first big trick as a group is to rob a bank, but using magic. So they bring in this supposedly random Frenchman whose bank they find is the Credit Republic of Paris, something like that. Republican Credit Republicain de Paris, and they use the magic to transport him there and then rob the bank. And so, because what they're doing is illegal, the FBI is hot on their trail. And so they have FBI agent Dylan Rhodes, played by Mark Ruffalo. Yeah, that's right. Mark Ruffalo's in this movie. You got a problem with that? Well, too bad, because I'm in the movie, and you're just gonna have to deal with it, okay? Because it's I'm an FBI agent, and I do this stuff, and I go in there, and it's kind of tough. So you gotta just never realize I have a Mark Ruffalo impression. So it's you just gotta let me do my job, okay? Because it's tough, and and I made a Barbie house for Jennifer Garner, and she didn't like it, but it's fine. She's not 13 anymore. She's not 30 anymore, but it's fine. Anyway, enough with the impression that I pulled out of my ass just a minute ago. We got Mark Ruffalo, along with a French Interpol agent, are on the trail of these three, along with a professional debunker by the name of Morgan Freeman. I don't remember. I don't remember the character's name. Thaddeus Bradford. That's it. Thaddeus Bradford, played by Morgan Freeman, who is out there to debunk all magic or magician stuff as fake, because there's no real magic in the world. Of course not. They also tell the tale of a magician named Lionel Shrike, who tried to pull a Houdini and submerge himself in a safe and break out. But the safe, it didn't work, and he drowned. And so, it's stated he's connected to the eye, and thus somehow connected to the four horsemen. Yeah. So, like I said, the big trick is to rob this bank. They do that, and they get away with it, of course. And the FBI are kind of on their tracks, but they're always one step ahead. They do get arrested, but they can't find proof that they actually robbed the bank, so they have to let them go, right? So, yeah. And, so if you can't prove it, there's no proof that actually robbed the bank. There's magic, sure, but magic's not proof. You can't use magic as proof, right? You can't do that. It's not. No. Especially Thaddeus Bradford's going to debunk all the magic. So that Thaddeus Bradford does. Morgan Freeman takes Mark Ruffalo into this place and shows him how they do it. There was never Paris. He was never transferred anywhere. It's directly underneath the stage. But they have all this stuff set up to make it look like he went to Paris. Turns out they had already robbed the bank and placed fake money in the bank. And then, when it's time for the trick, they activated flash paper that destroyed all the fake money in the bank and just flooded the place with the real money, which was already hidden underneath the stage. So, ain't nothing but bank robbers here. Although, how they got away with robbing a bank in Paris, I don't know. How they know it's going to be that bank? How they know it's going to be that person? Well, of course, they rigged it so that guy would be specifically picked. As we find out later, there is a purpose to this. Their next trick is to make some of the people in their audience rich by depleting Arthur's bank account. Yeah, they turn on him. And how do they get his bank information? How do they get that? Because they have everybody, see what your total in your bank is, and then, what's going to do this with the light, and it makes it, go by a certain amount, and that amount is automatically taken from Art's bank account, which, again, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I believe, but I don't know how that works. I don't know. Sure, they might be like computer hacking at the time they do that, but how? I don't care about how the money gets transferred. No. I want to know how shaking a light makes numbers disappear. That's what I want to know. I don't know. And there's how did they get Art's bank account number information? Well, earlier, Daniel tried to do the mentalist thing to Art. It didn't work, but he purposely did it so it didn't work. So he would find out mother's maiden name, because he named the uncle something Armitage. Armitage something, I don't know. And then he had a dog or a cat named Snuffles or Snuggles, one of the two. And that's how they were able to, your questions like favorite pet, mother's maiden name, those questions that they ask you to make sure it's you, right? Or they just have you do a CAPTCHA. Are you a robot? please type in this very augmented number that you can barely read. But please do it. One of those things. Probably not for a bank account, but you know. Tomato, potato. But yeah, and they get away with this. They deplete pretty much all of Art's money. And again, they're able to escape from the FBI because they use they've hypnotized people in the audience to go after the quarterback when someone says the word freeze. And so when Donald tries to arrest them, what does he yell? Freeze. Now, I know it's the heat of the moment. I know he doesn't believe in magic. But if I was Dylan, and I would. This is all going to be moot by the end of the movie anyway. But I'm gonna go ahead and say this here. But if I was Dylan, I would, they said not to say freeze, so I'm not gonna say it. Don't move. Uh-oh. Oops. Stay where you are. No, freeze. Sure. But yeah, so they tackle Dylan and some FBI agents, and so they get away. So now they're gonna have a third trick where there's a big chase. There's a big chase in between this. Between that and the third trick is they're trying to find out, they try to track him down, right? And during this, one of the four horsemen dies. Yes, there is a chase. He steals one of the FBI vehicles, and it goes in ongoing traffic where Jack dies. Rest in peace. Exploding car, fire, dead. But they find a flyer that connects them to this place where they're going to do their last trick. And there's only 3 of them left, right? So that'd be easy to catch them. At this point, Arthur has gone to work with Thaddeus Bradley. He wants to make a deal. He says, whatever you're set out to make, I'll double it. And he goes, well, I stand to make $5 million. Did I flinch? You got no money left, Art. But he's gonna try to do it. But yeah. That's good. Cold, nice and cold. I just opened it before I did the video, so it's nice and cold. Got a nice and cold soda. So anyways. So with 3 of the horsemen left, their final trick is this illusion thing where they're on holograms and stuff, and I really don't know what they're trying to do, but they're robbing more money. But when they get there, they find the place that's already been robbed, so they chase down this truck and find out it's rigged, and all this stuff is inside of it. It's all rigged, and so where to go? Well, the money's gone now, and more money. Okay, so I kind of forgot what happens here. But there's a whole thing. Did they flare more money to the people or not? I don't remember. I know they stole the money because they do. Oh, I remember now. The money ends up in Thaddeus's car, and he is framed for helping them. It's in the prison cell that he reveals how they did it, because of course that's how it's supposed to be. So the guy in charge of that building was hypnotized for a certain amount to start playing the thing again, be distracted. They used a mirror. They never stole the money. The money was there when the cops arrived, when the FBI arrived, right? And so then someone in a hoodie broke the mirror, took the money, and stuffed it in Thaddeus's car. I don't know if it's all of it, but it's some of it, right? And yeah. So Dylan is, interrogating him. We're like, how they get away with it? What? And he goes, I don't know. They're always one step ahead, even of the FBI, almost as if they were on the in. And he turns around, and you just hear on the inside, and Dylan is just standing outside the bars now. And that's when it's revealed that Dylan was in on it the whole time. Turns out he's the son of Lionel Shrike and was out for revenge against his father. The insurance company that denied Lionel Shrike's life insurance claim, Trensler Insurance, connected to, and what bank was connected to that? Credit Republic of Paris. And the company who made the safe that they took were the ones that made the safe that Lionel Shrike died in. So it's all connected. It's all about revenge. However, watching it this time, I did find a little flaw in this. So every time they try to, if I have one of these, it was him all along things. Naturally, you have to have some misdirections within the movie itself. There's at one point that Thaddeus tries to convince Dylan that his French partner from Interpol is in on it. Dylan buys into it and even goes after her for it. Now, why does he do that if he's in on it? Is he like trying to keep up appearances, playing into what Thaddeus did to make it look like, he fell for it, he was acting like he believed it? Probably, but it feels like that's there to try to sway the audience that Dylan's not in on it and try to convince the audience that it's her when it's really all in front of you, the sleight of hand. Like, you're looking over here, but really, he's over here. So, yeah. It's also revealed that Jack is not dead. Because, of course, he's not. And they go to Central Park, this tree that has a playing card in it, which I don't think is a real thing in Central Park. By the way, they have to break... Central Parks are open, right? But there's a closed gate. The Central Park closed at a certain time. I thought parks were always open. I can see maybe Central Park is special enough. Maybe it is closed. I don't know. But they get on this merry-go-round thing and disappear. And they're going to be a part of the Eye now. And yeah, it's about revenge. And Dylan has one last scene with his French partner. He basically confesses the truth. And because they supposedly fell in love, according to Wikipedia, I don't know where they saw that, but I can see there's some kind of attraction, but it's not like it's overtly out there. Maybe they have a thing going on. I don't know. That's me and Mrs. Jones. Me and Mrs. Jones. We got a thing going on. No. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It feels like Wikipedia, whoever edited the article, tried to justify why she would let him go. Oh, they were in love, and that's why. Sure, there was love. It's love. Sure. It just didn't feel like that to me. Maybe there was an attraction. But love, they knew each other for like 2 days. Although in a movie, that's enough. You knew each other for 5 minutes and be in love. It's a movie. It's the right kind of movie. If it's the right kind of movie, you can know someone for 5 minutes and do something else. But that's a different kind of movie. Some might even call it the wrong kind of movie. But anyway, yeah. So that's how it ends. With Thaddeus in jail, Art, who knows where, and I don't know where Arthur Trensler is at this point. What happens to him? Maybe they say in a sequel. I don't know. But yeah. I'll tell you what, though. Minor spoilers, but there is a twist in the second one. And it feels like they were trying to one-up this one with it. because that one makes completely no sense. This one does. If you really think about it, it does. But this one, the sequel, makes no sense. And that's right, there's a sequel. We will look at that when I do the sequel-a-thon. But until then, I'm going to give Now You See Me a pretty good. I enjoy this movie. The acting is really solid. Uh, sure, some of the magic tricks are way out there. I don't think some of these could even be done in real life. I think it's just like with movie magic, you could do whatever you want, sort of thing. The twist, I think, is really well done. You don't really think about it. Lionel Strike's sort of in the background of the entire movie. He's not really in the forefront. They do some hints. Like one time they actually show the safe. You're like, oh, wait a minute. It says Shrek on the safe, although he's a little more prevalent in the extended version. This was the theatrical version. He's played by Elias Koteas, or Casey Jones from the original Ninja Turtles movie. You do see his picture in the paper. See his picture in the paper. Oh yeah. In either version, but I think he's in more flashbacks in the extended version than the regular. I theatrical on my voodoo. So yeah. So what are your thoughts on Now You See Me? In the comments below, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.